Everywhere you look, Tesla is called the most innovative car company on Earth. Software updates, self-driving promises, screens everywhere. But here's the question most people never stop to ask. Is innovation about moving fast or about being right? Because while Tesla talks about the future loudly, Mercedes has been quietly getting parts of that future approved, legalized, and put into real-world use. And that difference changes everything. What innovation actually means. Innovation sounds simple until you define it. For some people, it means who releases features first. For others, it means who ships the boldest ideas. But in the real world, especially with cars, innovation only matters when it works safely, legally, and at scale. This is where Mercedes and Tesla split into two completely different philosophies. Tesla behaves like a Silicon Valley tech company. Ship fast, improve later, collect massive amounts of data, push updates constantly. The car evolves over time, sometimes weekly, sometimes overnight. That speed feels exciting, it feels futuristic. And for many drivers, it feels like they're living inside tomorrow. Mercedes doesn't move like that. Mercedes behaves like an aerospace company. Every system is over-engineered. Every failure mode is considered. Redundancy matters more than speed. And features don't ship until regulators, lawyers, and engineers all agree it's ready. It's slower, less flashy. But when Mercedes releases something, it's meant to be trusted, not tested by the customer. That difference is the foundation of everything that follows. Why Tesla feels ahead. Tesla feels innovative because you can see the change happening. Your car updates, the interface changes, new features appear, the driving behavior improves. It feels alive, like a smartphone on wheels. Tesla owners don't wait years for redesigns. They wake up to new abilities. That creates a powerful illusion of leadership. And to be fair, Tesla deserves credit. Their software-first approach forced the entire auto industry to change. Over-the-air updates, minimalist interiors, centralized computing. None of that would be mainstream without Tesla pushing aggressively. But there's a catch. Feeling ahead doesn't always mean being ahead. Because innovation in cars isn't just about what a system can do. It's about who's legally responsible when something goes wrong. And that's where Mercedes starts to look very different. Mercedes' quiet advantage. Mercedes doesn't ask, "Can the car do this?" They ask, "Who takes responsibility when it does?" That's why Mercedes became the first manufacturer to receive approval for Level 3 autonomous driving in real-world conditions. Not a beta, not a promise. A certified system where, under specific conditions, the car takes responsibility for driving. That single detail changes the definition of innovation. It means Mercedes isn't just building features. They're building trust frameworks, legal frameworks, regulatory frameworks. Things most people never see, but that determine whether a technology truly belongs on public roads. Tesla builds capability first. Mercedes builds legitimacy first. Both are forms of innovation, but they serve very different goals. The curiosity loop. So now the real question becomes this. Is innovation about being first or about being trusted? Because next, we're going to talk about autonomy and the gap between what cars can do and what they're allowed to do. When people talk about innovation, self-driving always sits at the center of the conversation. It feels like the ultimate proof of technological leadership. A car that can see, think, and move on its own. Tesla dominates this conversation online because its system looks impressive. The car steers itself on highways, changes lanes, responds to traffic, and improves constantly through software updates. To many drivers, it feels like the future has already arrived. But here's the part most people misunderstand. What you see happening is not the same as what the system is legally allowed to do. Tesla's full self-driving is powerful, but it is officially classified as a driver assistance system. The driver remains responsible at all times. Hands on the wheel, eyes on the road. If something goes wrong, the human is accountable. That distinction isn't small. It's the line between assistance and autonomy. Mercedes approached autonomy from a completely different angle. Instead of asking how fast they could push capability, they asked how responsibility could safely shift from human to machine. That question changes everything. It means designing systems with redundancy, strict operating limits, and clear rules about when the car is in control and when the human must take over. This is how Mercedes achieves something Tesla hasn't yet. Certified Level 3 autonomy. Under specific conditions, on approved highways, at defined speeds, the Mercedes system takes responsibility for driving. Not the driver, the car. That means you're legally allowed to take your hands off the wheel and your eyes off the road because the system has accepted the driving task. This is not a beta. It's not experimental. It's regulated, approved, and insured. That's a massive technological milestone, even though it looks less dramatic on social media. The reason Mercedes limits where and when this system works is intentional. Autonomy isn't about doing everything everywhere. It's about doing the right thing reliably. Mercedes uses high-definition maps, multiple layers of sensors, and predefined conditions to make sure the system only operates where it can guarantee performance. If conditions fall outside that envelope, control returns to the driver. No confusion, no guessing. Tesla takes the opposite approach. Broader availability, fewer restrictions. A system that learns by being used everywhere. That creates faster improvement and wider exposure, but it also keeps responsibility firmly with the driver. Tesla prioritizes learning speed. Mercedes prioritizes certainty. Neither approach is wrong, but they answer different definitions of innovation. Here's the key realization. Innovation isn't just about what technology can do in perfect conditions. It's about whether that technology can be trusted with real consequences. Mercedes doesn't want drivers testing the limits. They want systems that work predictably, repeatedly, and defensibly. Tesla shows you the future early. Mercedes delivers the future when it's ready to stand in court. That's the difference. So if autonomy isn't just about intelligence, then what happens when you measure innovation by daily usability instead of ambition? Because next, we're talking about electric vehicles and the gap between headline numbers and real life. When people talk about electric cars, the conversation usually starts with numbers: range, charging speed, battery size. And on the surface, Tesla dominates those headlines. Long ranges, fast charging, a massive charging network. It creates the impression that Tesla has solved electric mobility while everyone else is still catching up. And in some ways, that's true. Tesla made EVs normal. They made them desirable. They removed fear from the idea of going electric. But innovation doesn't live on spec sheets. It lives in daily experience. Mercedes approached electric vehicles with a very different question. Not how far can it go, but how does it feel to live with? That's why their flagship EVs don't feel like experiments or tech demos. They feel like finished products. Quiet, heavy, stable, designed to isolate you from stress rather than impress you with numbers. Take the Mercedes EQS as an example. It wasn't built to win drag races or dominate YouTube thumbnails. It was built to redefine what electric luxury feels like. The cabin is engineered for silence, with extensive sound insulation and aerodynamic design that reduces wind noise to near nothing at highway speeds. The suspension is tuned to float over imperfections, not communicate them. The goal isn't excitement, it's calm. Tesla takes a different approach. Their EVs feel light, responsive, almost playful. Instant torque, minimalist interiors. Everything is about efficiency and software integration. Tesla wants you to feel connected to the machine, like you're interacting with technology. Mercedes wants you to forget the technology exists. That difference is philosophical. Tesla treats the car like a device. Mercedes treats it like a space. Charging tells the same story. Tesla wins on infrastructure. Their supercharger network is reliable, widespread, and deeply integrated into the car's navigation system. That's real innovation, and it removes anxiety for millions of owners. Mercedes doesn't deny this. Instead, they focus on how charging fits into a lifestyle. Smooth planning, predictable behavior, integration with premium charging partners, less urgency, less noise. Even range itself tells a deeper story. Mercedes engineers prioritize consistency, not just how far the car goes on paper, but how stable and predictable it feels over long distances. The car shouldn't feel strained near the end of a trip. It shouldn't punish you for driving comfortably. Tesla optimizes efficiency aggressively. Mercedes optimizes experience. This is why innovation looks different depending on what you value. Tesla leads when innovation means speed of change, efficiency, and ecosystem dominance. Mercedes leads when innovation means refinement, comfort, and trust at scale. One company pushes boundaries publicly, the other moves them quietly. And that's why asking, who's more innovative, misses the point. The real question is, which kind of innovation do you want in your life? Because next, we're stepping back from cars entirely and asking who actually builds the future faster, the company that moves like a startup or the one that moves like an institution. Innovation isn't a single race with one winner. Tesla leads when innovation means moving fast, breaking patterns, and pushing software forward at a pace no traditional automaker can match. Mercedes leads when innovation means responsibility, refinement, and trust that works in the real world, not just on a screen. One shows you the future early, the other delivers it when it's ready to be relied on. So here's the real question. Do you want innovation that feels exciting today, or innovation you can trust tomorrow? If this changed how you see Mercedes and Tesla, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives like this.